I will say, as a younger woman in this space, right, and just like a younger person in this space, a question that I wish I could ask is, why hasn't it happened yet? Because I think we have so many of these conversations, these breakfasts, where it's like, yes, broadband is important to rural communities, and sometimes I hear slivers here of that, how of a lot of it is a leadership question. And I appreciate, Bernadine, you lifting up a lot of the rural women leaders that are advocating on this. I'm curious, Tina, as you've been exposed to a lot of people talking about this broadband challenge, my one question is, why hasn't it happened yet? And what about the leadership, either of rural women, or what is, rural women, the getting shit on our shoes, right? What level of shit on our shoes, for lack of better phrase there, or maybe that's a really great phrase, is required to make sure that this work can get done? And what are the major challenges to getting us there?
I think a really big component of this is we as rural folk, particularly in the House of Representatives, we only have, I think it's like 36 seats in the House that represent rural districts right now. I might have that number wrong, somebody fact check me, but it's in the 30s or low 40s. It's bad, it's low, and that ain't getting better. So we need to talk to our urban counterparts. It's the rural divide component here. And this is why I'm so excited to launch this program with Lead for America, putting youth in underconnected communities, both rural and urban, partnering them up and collecting the stories that they can tell. It's the same thing. The problem is the same, whether you're rural or urban, and you need the same opportunities and access. You just got to link it up and tell it that way. We have had a strategy for the past number of years here at Land O'Lakes to go talk to urban lawmakers and really connect these dots. It takes a long time to build those relationships, but this is why one of the bills in Congress right now that's getting a lot of airtime is on broadband is being led by Representative Clyburn, the majority whip Democrat from South Carolina, and the companion bill in the Senate is being led by Senator Amy Klobuchar here in Minnesota. But getting to work with the Clyburn team and telling them all these stories and all the data points of rural voices, particularly during the pandemic. Really, the momentum we have here because of COVID is one of the silver linings, right? To finally push this over the edge.
Yeah. And Bernadine, real quick too, if you could tee us up for maybe if there are certain trends that you're hearing from the communities that you work with, the women that are, leading the charge here at the state level. Are there common themes or challenges that you're hearing from them and from these communities that we can tossle around in the Q&A and in our discussion here today?
Yeah, thanks, Benya. I'd like to respond to why it's not done. That's such a great question. It's such a great, fresh question about where to start. And I think it's important to understand, and it's always helpful. My dad used to always say, compared to what? And that is what my experience abroad, living and working in Scandinavia and in the former Soviet Union has helped me, that just the way we do it in America isn't the only way. And we got here, through for a lot of reasons. But so in the United States of America, investment in what we have at this call have come to understand is core infrastructure, without access to which you cannot equitably and fully participate in our economy and our society, that core infrastructure has been abandoned to the free market. And so what that means is that those of us who live in communities that have good broadband, we got it because it's profitable for the providers to provide it. And those of us that are in communities that don't have broadband are not going to get it unless we do something about it. This is market failure, people. And the reason we don't have broadband in rural is because it's not profitable. there is not enough density, to the return on investment, dollar per mile per fiber strand doesn't pencil out. That's why I said earlier that co-ops are so cool and part of the answer, because they are, we heard about Tina and her Social Benefit Corporation. And Christy, I'm singing your praises here, that co-ops are about benefiting the members and the community. Co-ops understand that the prosperity and well-being of their members is directly, is what they're about. They're a mission-driven organization. And so rural people have got to organize. That's the answer here, because absent that, it's not going to get done. And there's different choices we can make as a society about this. And here in Minnesota, through the leadership of the Minnesota Rural Broadband Coalition and others, our drumbeat and the opportunity for all of us on this call is to help our legislators understand that there must be public investment in broadband access and adoption, because the market itself is not going to get us there. And this divide, those who have access and can use it and don't, is getting worse, not better. And it threatens the core of our democracy. So we have got to get this going on and work on both access and adoption. And it's really public, coming into the breach in a free market economy where the market is broken for rural, to bring a public policy solution to the table. And I just want to say to Tina that it's, we do need investment, but the devil is really in the details. And the problem about this kind of federal program is that you can get it wrong and you can do harm. And so it's not enough to just say we need more investment. It really matters how that's done. And I think putting not-for-profits, cooperatives, municipal, with a public purpose at the heart of it will ensure better outcomes for everybody.
Awesome. Thank you both, Bernadine and Tina.